I'm not sure they could have predicted at that point precisely how many players would choose not to get vaccinated. And I won't try to speak for them other than the view that some players had, I think including maybe some players who were vaccinated, that it should be individual choice among the players. So I would have preferred that ultimately that Players Association agreed to mandatory vaccinations. The officials union, referees union agreed to mandatory vaccinations despite some opposition from some of their members. But ultimately, I think we could have avoided a lot of the adversarial nature of these issues for our players. I mean, it's not so much with the league. I think that gets confused in some cases. This is between Kyrie and New York City right now. This is not a league issue. As you pointed out, it's not mandatory in the league. But I think it would have been best for everyone if every player were vaccinated.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, frankly, I hope that Kyrie sort of, despite how strongly he feels about the vaccination, ultimately decides to get vaccinated, because I'd love to see him play basketball this season. And I'd love to see the Brooklyn Nets have their full complement of players on the floor.
Bullshit. 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 You believe that? You can tell when he's stuck in a hard place. Now he throws the whole blame on New York City, when the NBA could supersede that because they're their own individual business. But they're like, look, we gave you an exemption. Going into the season, Kyrie Irving got an exemption saying that he would have the option to do so. But the rule changed because most of the players wasn't getting it. So the government made this a change. Como wasn't doing enough to get it done. So they brought in somebody who could help implement that plan. So Como is stepping down. But if Kyrie Irving was a Los Angeles Laker, he'll be playing. Because the Lakers would have told him flat out, you don't need to make any decision right now. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. When you are in situations that don't make sense to the rest of the world, right? And you see what's happening. They're trying to turn Kevin Durant against Kyrie Irving. They want Kevin Durant to be so frustrated with Kyrie Irving that it throws off their season. They want dissension within the ranks. James already said he's 10 toes down. James is not a leader. James is a follower. Kyrie is a leader. KD can lead a team. Now, to break the Brooklyn Nets up, here they come with all this nonsense. Why? Because they're a threat to the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, well, it's his choice. If you want to get it, get it. If you don't, don't. Yeah, the Lakers signed Avery Bradley today, and that wasn't a LeBron decision. That was a Laker decision that they said we need help defensively on our bench. We don't have enough defense. We need an extra body for defense. So the older player in Avery Bradley, who tried out and was cut by every team, is now the answer. I get it. I mean, Avery Bradley got cut because whose spot was he going to take? They tried him out, and defensively, he's slow and he couldn't hit a shot. You know, he's a great player. He has good defensive instincts, but he just wasn't going to get any tick. And the Lakers like, man, he still got it a little bit. Let's get him back on the team. LeBron said he was cool with it. He don't have no beef with him. But he just didn't like the way he abandoned the team over his choice and risk for his safety and his family's safety. He said an NBA tracing a championship ring was not the goal here. That was not what we need to be thinking about, was an NBA championship when lives was on the line. I commend him for that. Now, there is no doubt in anybody else's mind that if Kyrie Irving was a Los Angeles Laker, he would already be playing. They wouldn't have had all this distraction. It wouldn't have been this important. Life or death. This is serious. Kyrie Irving, this is so serious. It's not that serious. It's not that hard to figure out either. We know what's going on. Yes, he would. Adam, do you know what they would have did? They would have said Kyrie's choice is his. Whatever decision he made is personal. We're not talking about it. They'd have told Kyrie Irving, don't talk about it. They'd have told the media, don't ask him about it. He would have never been allowed to even have the conversation on did he get the shot or didn't he, had he been the Los Angeles Lakers. Kyrie is playing, and that's all you need to know. So answer your own question. Did he get it or didn't he get it? We need to know. We need to know. Did you get it, Kyrie? Look, no question. They wouldn't have let him answer that question. So you wouldn't have known if he got it or if he didn't get it. The Lakers would have covered this whole thing up. So you'll be in question on if he got it or didn't get it. Meanwhile, he's playing. Told you, this thing is chess. If they want you playing, you will be playing. If he was teammates with LeBron, damn right he would be. That was the last time he was efficient. Oh, the Dwight Howard guy saying some crazy stuff. But the Dwight Howard guy actually hit up the super chat. That's what's up. Hit the like button, good people. The like's frozen. What's going on around here? I'm like, what is going on this evening? Of course. He's an enemy to the plan. Because they don't want any more people to do what they're doing. LeBron, they allowed because they approved it. But what they're not allowing is for any dissensions within the ranks. Oh, now people talking Squid Games. It's crazy. Oh, you know election time is rolling around in November? You know what time it is. Kev, you already know what time it is. Oh, I was thinking the other day, whatever happened to Adrian Brown? That used to be our classmate. Kev, I wonder whatever happened to him. I ain't see or heard from him since high school either. Adrian Brown. He put his mama in a mansion. Okay. That's not why we dislike LeBron James. So I think you've already know the reasons why we don't like LeBron James. But rather than attack the reasons that we pointed out, you came with a whole nother trajectory. They make it as if Kyrie Irving is the only player who didn't get it. Meanwhile, Jay Williams, who won't be on NBA Countdown anymore, they removed Jay Williams because of his views on being pro player. They don't want him anywhere on there. He sided with Kyrie. Max Kellerman also agreed that it's Kyrie's choice. None of these people will be on the NBA Countdown show. But yet, none of these people are going to be on the Countdown show. But we just saw in the beginning of this video, Adam Silverslipper just say, this is not an NBA decision. This is not a league decision. This is a decision by New York City. So Max Kellerman and Jay Williams not covering the league on ESPN is not a league decision. People, you got to understand something. ESPN has a deal and partnership with the NBA. If the NBA doesn't want somebody on there, they're not going to be there. Rachel Nichols had to get pulled. Wasn't by ESPN, it was by the NBA. The NBA said we cannot go and have Rachel be the sideline reporter and steal the attention away from our finals. We gotta sit Rachel. It's not an idea that's ideal with us. We love Rachel, but no, this is too much heat. She gotta sit out. So she had to sit out. That's an NBA decision. But yet it looks as if ESPN just made the call and they're going to say, well, Rachel, she needs to sit out because Rachel this and Rachel that. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, let's get even more into it, shall we? Let's get even more into the situation. Because I want to be very clear on the subject at hand. Now, the way we see it is always have been quite clear to us. Cut and dry, right? We see, say, hey, this is the way it's going. This is the way it's laid out. This is what it is. You either roll with it or roll against it, but this is what it is. Now, the NBA and ESPN do not go align with each other. The ESPN are basically whores to the league. The league pays them money to do their bidding. Why do you think LeBron James basically can control ESPN? He told Richard Jefferson, they can't fire you. ESPN can't fire you. You're my friend. That lets you know right there. You can't go nowhere. But Rachel was his friend. But that audio made it very hard for LeBron to protect her. Now, didn't it? It was made exceptionally hard. Now, because it was made exceptionally hard, Everybody had something to say. Everybody had an opinion. Everybody wanted their words to be the end all be all of everything. Right, all of a sudden, everybody's voice matters now. You see? See how that works? Now his voice matters. Now your voice matters. Everybody has a voice. That's what they want. That's the narrative. That's the picture they want to paint. Of course, LeBron is a company man. He will always toe the line. When you show people like LeBron a plan that he could follow that has something to do with standing out on your own and being an individual, where it's saying, hey, this is for the betterment of people. You might not make any money out of it, but what you're going to get in innate value is going to be way more valuable than anything you could ever imagine. It's enriching to the soul. He gonna be, man, my soul gonna be rich, but I don't want to be broke. LeBron has never been in a position to stand for anything in his life. He doesn't want to be either. He don't want that pressure. And people love to talk about Michael Jordan. The thing about Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan never pretended. He wasn't out here like Kaepernick with the black glove on and the afro and the black leather coat. And I'm like, who is he supposed to be, Shaft? He didn't play the role. He said, look, I don't get involved in politics and all these issues. I'm a ball player. He stayed out of it. See, I'd rather people do that than pretend. I'm more than an athlete. I care about everybody. I'm standing up for the little man. No. Quit being phony. You ain't standing up for nobody but yourself. Your narcissistic, egotistical ways is not what we need as a people. Did you hear LeBron answer any questions about Kyrie Irving? Enes Kanter came out, right, after LeBron made his statement about what he felt about it, that it was not his place to tell anybody what they should do with their body. The first time LeBron James has made a decision, and it was indecision. First time he's made a decision, and it was indecision. And have you noticed, no one has made any comments about Kyrie Irving to LeBron. It was never mentioned again. So you mean to tell me if Kyrie Irving was a Los Angeles Laker, this would all be nipped in the bud? Woo. Kyrie will be playing ball, and the people will be asking questions that would never get answered. Thank you. I put the audio up there so you can actually hear Silver Slipper give you his exact interpretations of the problem at hand and everything that comes with it. Now, Rock Nation tried to block what I put up on the Patreon today about Bobby Smurder. I put it up 2 days ago, and they kind of blocked it, so I kind of reworked it, so now it works. He hasn't said one word about Kyrie Irving. And you know why? Because they're not going to ask him in LA. Everybody's scared. See, when Jordan played, the media had all the power. Now they don't. LeBron controls his media. Everybody's scared to say something, or they're going to have their credentials removed. So you start to see who's in command and who isn't. Now, when you have scenarios reach a point that they've reached to now, with all these different faces in different places making the call, this is what you're left with. This is what's going to be on your front porch. This type of nonsense. Every day that you turn around, you're going to see this appear right in front of your living room. If I applied for Fox News and they hired me, start the clock. I would be fired. Maybe this is the quickest termination ever. Maybe, do you agree? Mr. Carcino is here, and we'll get his views on it. He's like, my views? First of all, you need to eat something. You way too skinny. I mean, on the subject at hand, Mr. Davis. Well, first off, this guy's never took one step in the ghetto in a day in his life, so how the hell this guy here is going to tell me something, this BYU graduate is going to tell you something about the hood and what's going on over there. One, you don't know what the hell he's talking about. And this Uncle Tom, brother, I don't know where y'all find him in Tom's school, but this Tom here, he don't know anything. I've been big commercial break. I'd have been escorted off the set immediately. I'll be, where's the exit? This way. Who pays me for the day? Because I was on the air. I'd still get my check, right? All right, cool. All right, that's the door, right? All right, cool. Where's my bag? My coat? All right, thank y'all. It was a good show. I had fun. Lasted longer than I thought I would on there. I would be escorted out of there effective immediately. I swear, there's never been a brother on Fox that had any spine or backbone. How does that happen? I'm like, man, it's another brother. Damn. Another Tom. How in the hell they find all these Toms? As I said, they must train these dudes, put them in Tom Academy. They snatched them right out of the Tom school. He's great. Look at the way he just talks about BLL. I love it. He totally sees the other view. Look at him. Totally blind to what just happened with that Republican Senate. That's right. Reverse the situation. If it was Bill Clinton, he would be an American hero. That's it. Reverse it. It's ridiculous. It's hypocrisy. But you're stuck in this owl. Oh, Jeff. What's up? Jeff done changed his name. Now he's the bonehead. I'm the bonehead. Boom. Headbutting people got your wrestling name now. That's Jeff Bone of the Boneheads. Here he comes off the top rope. Oh, that was an illegal object, John. Jeff Bone, once again, one of the dirtiest players of the game. Hey, what's up? Well, the AEW circuit has always been crushing WWE because they're putting on better shows. And because they're putting on better shows, they're always going to be in the better position. This is how WWE actually beat WCW. They were putting on better shows. And because of that, those facts never change. People don't remember that because all they remember is that WWE, I mean, they were putting on the better matches. WCW had better skits. They was just all skits. The wrestling sucked. And if you remember that era, Russo only focused on that. And that's all he felt was the hook to keep the people in. Because he came up with the Attitude Era with DX and doing all those fun skits. But what he also missed was that he didn't know diddly squat about wrestling. Plus, he was racist. And when you have someone who's basically a racist working there, as soon as he got there, the first thing he did was fire anybody that was Asian. He fired Hispanics. He wanted them very limited, but he was like they all had to be unmasked, which drove out people like La Parka and everyone else. They took the mask off, Rey Mysterio, and he had to wrestle unmasked in the WCW. And in Mexico, that's like the ultimate disrespect is to lose your mask. That is like ultimate disrespect. So Russo brought this stuff to the WCW. And the Japanese Asian wrestlers, they end up getting fired immediately, which back then you would have had a civil lawsuit out this world. Most of them filed, and you hear some of them complain about it. So it's just that it wasn't social media back then like it is today. roping this back around to Kyrie Irving. If he was a Los Angeles Laker member, would Kyrie Irving be someone? Oh, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. I missed it when you guys did it. I probably was running my mouth. And thanks for the Cash App too. Yep, Cash App is still Carcino. Karceno. I was always feeling a certain way. I was always feeling a certain way about that. Like, a lot of people didn't realize what was transpiring with the company because you had so many different elements of surprise and elements of change that was happening within companies. It's like you work at a company and it's your job and you know your bosses, your managers, your supervisor, and then all your bosses are changed. Now you got new bosses. You've been there for years, but now you don't know these new people. So even though Kyrie Irving is only, if this was any other player, this wouldn't happen. Well, they tried to come out of a lot of different areas, man. A lot of different people. There's so much that's going on in pro wrestling that we're gonna get into. Probably do a live stream and talk about it today. But there was so much going on that you guys missed in the era. Yeah, I hit a little bit of a dead spot. But we're back now. So I felt we talked about Kyrie enough. Y'all want to talk about some wrestling? We can talk wrestling now if y'all want. Instead of making another live stream, you can do it right here if you want. It's up to y'all. I'll just do it all right here. Well, the thing is that Chris Jericho, which was starting to run everybody ragged because this is what Jericho does. AEW was starting to have problems with Jericho. They had to ring him in and said, look, your whole career ruined you. At WCW, this ruined you. This ruined you everywhere you're a success. This is your last stop. We can't have you ruined over here. Okay? This is a whole different show. It's the last show in town. The money's here. Everything's here. Don't F this up. Because he was getting a little too full of himself and going into his Jericho antics, where he gets into a total a-hole and ruin it for everybody involved. No, the video game didn't carry the sport. What carried the sport and what carried the sport throughout the 80s was merchandising. Action figures. See, Vince McMahon owned the names. So the wrestlers were not given full compensations off of the merchandising. The merchandising was all Vince. Vince owned those names. So when the wrestlers went to go fight for their rights, they were paid for their likeness only. So they got a little small chunk of it, so they would advertise it because they thought it was making them more popular wrestlers. They didn't know anything about marketing and merchandising and all of these different things. So like Hulk Hogan was owned by Vince McMahon. So when he was in WCW, he was not called Hulk Hogan. He was called the Hulkster. Then they called him Hogan. And while everything was pending, he ended up changing and rebranding himself to Hollywood Hogan. And once he was Hollywood, which I felt was a much better character and more to the real life Hogan than anybody ever knew, he had a whole new audience. But once the money went dry and they started going on a different plane, it was over. Like that whole ride was completely over. The old way of doing things with wrestling was done. Well, the matches were very bad. You look at people like Kevin Nash. Kevin Nash was a great personality, but he couldn't wrestle to save his life. And when you're just doing gimmicks, you know, these type of things come into play. When Goldberg first came into wrestling, he used to do moves. He used to do takedowns, all basic wrestling moves, but he used to do moves, you know, and then he just became a press slam spear guy because that's all they would allow him to do. People want to see him do all these different press slams. He used to do all kind of spins in the air while he got you up there. It was full of energy, and it was just the movement of Goldberg. They was just like, man, let's sell it. And they was making money all off his merchandise. And then wrestlers started to get smart and say, okay, wait a minute. You're not finna just make all this money off me, and I'm not really getting anything of it. They had managers that went in there and negotiated and said, hey, I need a piece of this. So what Vince would do is switch companies. You know, contractor run out here, then there'll be no toys for them, no merchandises for none of the kids. That's why it was so hard to get WWE and all these wrestling action figures. They went through like 5-6 different companies, and you'd be like, man, this company got this, now this company got it, now this company got it, now this company over here got it. And you're like, what's happening here? Because they kept switching companies, because the contract would run out, and plus they got to do a deal with the wrestlers, and now they got to pay out. So they like, well, screw it, we ain't gonna have it no more anyway. So now that ends your contract. So now they're gonna start it all over again. Vince was good at hiding money and making money off wrestlers. So this is how Vince really grew himself into a billionaire doing this. Like, how many of y'all remember that Sting and the Ultimate Warrior were tag team? They were a devastating tag team before they even got into WCW. They were the Blade Runners. And the Blade Runners, these guys have a whole different outlook on life itself. The Blade Runners was a great team, and the Ultimate Warrior felt like Sting betrayed him. He up and went to WCW, and then they Blade Runners, they were together, and then he kind of didn't stick to the code. He just up and changed within a heartbeat. Without any warning, he just up and changed. And that kind of upset everybody that was involved. He felt like, man, we're not finna get this money. He got this opportunity in WCW as an individual wrestler. And once he did that, he wanted nothing to do with Sting, and he felt like he left at that time his partner, who was the Ultimate Warrior at that time. He was the Dingo Warrior. When he came into WCW, he wanted nothing to do with Sting. He was that disturbed. He wanted nothing to do with him at that time. But once he became the Ultimate Warrior, because Vince loved his body, loved the Ultimate Warrior's body, because Vince was a bodybuilder himself, so he looked at the body and wanted to get a wrestler. So when they were talking about bringing him to and making him, they made him beat Hulk Hogan fair and square in a ring. No one had beaten Hulk Hogan fair and square in a ring. But the Ultimate Warrior was able to do it in WrestleMania 6. And that was it. In WrestleMania 6, that was it. The Ultimate Warrior era began. Because really, Macho Man took out Hulk Hogan. The Hulkamaniacs and all that. Macho Man held the title for a whole year. He was the champion for a year. From one WrestleMania to another. WrestleMania 4, when they were going to have a tournament to see who was going to be the heavyweight champion. And it ended up being Macho Man winning the championship. Macho Madness was everywhere. Macho Man had so much appeal in wrestling. It was the only thing at that time to ever counter Hulkamania. to the point where they were gonna have this mega match with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man. And that was gonna be it. That's what people always talked about. And they turned Macho Man into a good guy, what they call a baby face. And Macho Man was the fan favorite because he had so many fans. They loved him, period. Good guy, bad guy, everybody loved Macho Man. The robes, everything, because he's from traditional wrestling royalty. That's what people don't remember about him, that they should, is that he is from wrestling royalty. His father, his brothers, so they knew how to entertain the crowd. These robes would glitter with the lights and have on the glasses, all the attention, the movements, everything was about how you perform as an artist. This was the time of the new age wrestler. Randy was going to be the new coming of changing up the guard. Athletic wrestlers, with a lot of them were slow and clumsy, who was his size. You know, they didn't have the athleticism of Randy, and he was dominating the Mid-South wrestling, you know, before he came over. Vince paid through the nose to get him. And he wanted to make Elizabeth his manager, and that was the only way it was going to work. They tried to put him with every manager in the book, so that ended up being one of his calling cards came into wrestling. As there was an audition to who was going to be his manager, and then he chose Elizabeth. That was the only thing that gave them credibility. They had all the managers lined up out there watching Macho Man wrestle, and then he chose and introduced Elizabeth. He came up with that idea because that happened in real life. So well, here's the thing. When people are doing what they're doing, you know, it's how it was going down. You know, Sting was going to be one of the best wrestlers and was going to beat Ric Flair and get the heavyweight championship in WCW, NWA. One security guard ruined all that when he thought Sting was a fan, not knowing Sting was supposed to rush the ring and break up, you know, and get involved. And this was going to set up the Ric Flair Sting thing. And once he got on the cage, the security guard tackled him and ended up like basically tearing his knee up, his MCL, and Sting was injured, you know, and was out for real. So now you just derailed all of this promotion to make Sting this big star, which he already was, because he had the energy like Macho Man. But what people didn't know, that there was going to be this Sting Macho Man showdown that they were going to make happen, you know, and that was a mistake that was on the parts of Vince McMahon not taking Sting. But that was the thing. He should have just offered Sting a lot of money, but Sting was loyal. This was early on. and he thought Sting was just a dumb character. He didn't have the right body. This guy was gonna just fizzle out. But the girls loved Sting. They thought he was cute. Girls who liked wrestling thought he was just a cutie, and he was in the magazines. Girls who see, people forget females watch wrestling too. And the girls, the cousins, be like, "Oh, he cute. I like him." I'm like, Sting? He's got on makeup. What the hell you mean? He's cute. They say stupid shit like that, you know? Look at his butt. I can't watch wrestling with y'all. Y'all gotta go. I'm going to my room to watch wrestling. Don't come in there. So Vince went with the Warrior, and then the Warrior was the champion. And when there was an opportunity to bring Sting over, he wanted to. Well, the Ultimate Warrior was upset because they brought Hulk Hogan in and used Hulk Hogan to go against Sergeant Slaughter. They made him lose the title to Hogan, which he did not agree with doing. They had to pay him a fortune just to do it. He's hard to work with, the Ultimate Warrior. Vince did not know and foresee that coming. But he was hard to work with. And because he was hard to work with, he became hard to live with and deal with. They was like pissed, like super pissed, dealing with they was dealing with what's his face, Ultimate Warrior. So they made him lose to Sergeant Slaughter so Slaughter could defend the title. Slaughter can go ahead and defend that belt against, man, she ugly. Oof, God. Keep driving. But Sergeant Slaughter could lose the title to Hulk Hogan because it was the Iraq War was going on at that time, and they wanted to use that as promotion for WrestleMania by having Sergeant Slaughter go ahead and join the Iraqis. So the Iron Sheik came back to be the Iraqi leader. Which is still, in my estimation, is one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. Iron Sheik was the manager. Yeah, that was one of the worst WrestleManias I've seen. And Jimmy Hart ended up being the manager of Hogan. The mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. That megaphone, the suits, everything. Nobody, I think he was probably one of the best managers of all time. See, that's what would happen to wrestlers. They would, when they become of age, they normally became mentors or managers. And like Freddie Blassie, Mr. Fuji, these were wrestlers who adapted to new roles. But that's what I'm saying, that their characters were, adopted very well. the longest running Intercontinental Champion. He was the longest for a while. He didn't lose that belt at all. To have him, people don't forget. Man, I'm the honky tonk man. I'm cool. I'm bad. The honky tonk man was it. The world's strongest man, Ken Patera. What's up, Clay? That's Double J, Jeff Jarrett, J E double F, J A double R E double T. That's Double J, Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett, Jeff Jarrett able to excel in WWA. He was better in WCW. That felt, that his character was able to expand. Because he should have been, he ended up, those two were just alike, except for he was more business minded. Where Steve Austin was still drinking beer, smacking people around. He was that kind of guy. Plus, his monologues were great. He was great at monologues. Wrestling wasn't so great, but it fit with his character. Steve Austin didn't have to slam you correctly. It would look sloppy. The way he come over and kick you would be sloppy. He fought like a sloppy guy out of the bar, and that's. That's what Austin was about. He was personality turned into reality. Because his personality turned into a real, like he brought his personal, who he was, into wrestling. And it was the best character of all. Because it was really him. You don't care about that son, man? Let me get a hell yeah. Hell yeah. Oh, the what thing got annoying because everybody was doing it. Everybody started doing the what? And then when it didn't even matter, the audience would just be screaming, what? I'm just like, this is getting annoying as hell. Yeah, Austin problem is he couldn't keep his hands off hitting women, And Steve McMichael, who's battling ALS right now, and is, he's fighting every day, but man, he's like 110 pounds, like 120 pounds. Mongo McMichael, one of the four horsemen, man. Him and Ric Flair went and saw him, and spent some time with Mongo. But man, that guy, man, his wife ended up, when you get those super hot chicks, she ended up hooking up with Steve Austin and leaving McMichael and he still got to wrestle in WCW. But this is why he didn't go to WWF, because he had a chance to go over there when they saw, like, man, McMichael's taking this wrestling thing seriously. Like, he didn't come here as a celebrity, wrestler. He came in to wrestle for real. Oh, Barry Windham, man. Barry was unlike any other wrestler. I told you. He was supposed to be the new Terry Bollea, Hulk Hogan. He was tall like Hogan, had the blonde hair, and he was athletic. He could do spins in the ring. Natural wrestler. Did not like to train, did not want to work out, did not want to do any of those things, but get high, party, and screw people's wives. Barry Windham. The man ducked death I don't know how many times. Dangerous Dan Spivey. Well, Dan Spivey, man, that was it. He was turned up all the time. Dangerous Dan Spivey. But Barry Windham, man, Barry Windham would go to a bar, meet a chick, bang a chick. Him and Flair, dude, they was battling over chicks. That's why Windham was put in there. Barry Windham gonna be in part of Four Horsemen, because Flair, like, I need him with me, because this guy know how to get his own chicks without me. I need that around me. Shoot, Luger's a stiff. He was like, man, Lex got the body, but he just can't talk. He's a stiff. Barry know how to get these hoes. So Barry was out there pulling them in. Barry Windham didn't have to wrestle no more. He had a widow. This woman was so rich. She was like, I just want you to basically sleep with me all the time. So he was missing shows. He's like, I'm not wrestling today. Banging this chick. I'm making more money banging her. I'm sitting right here. So Barry was sitting out for about a year. He'll do one match somewhere in town just to chill with people. He ain't rehearse, practice, or nothing. Come in there and nail it to perfection. And then would leave and go back. Like, you gonna hang out tonight? Nah, I'm gonna go with my chick, man. I got this chick been blowing up back out. Yeah, she finna buy me a new sports car. Barry Windham, baby. Yeah, Barry had a chick with money, taking care of him. And Barry was like, bet, you gonna take care of me and pay me not to wrestle? Bet. So what could the networks tell Barry? They couldn't control Barry. Because normally people wrestle when the money run out. Barry Windham was like, hey, it is what it is. Dangerous Dan Spivey became more dangerous once he got more blow in his system. He came really dangerous, Dan Spivey. Oh no, that's just Black Rage there with Stevie Ray. Oh yeah. That's clear what that is. That's Black Rage. That's all. That is just 100% Black Rage. They always roll with pistols. Harlem Heat had heat. Stevie Ray got his doggone pistol and got his heat on him. And so did, what's his name? His brother, Booker T. Booker T had a pistol. They black. They can't just go in the bars, in every one of these towns and these crazy hick town. You know, they had to be prepared. And boy, were they prepared. They called them Harlem Heat for a reason. Man, but dude at the bar tried to mess with Stevie Ray, man. Once he came out, that damn. No, they were messing with Booker. That was when it first started. The girl thought Booker was sexy, doing the dance and all that. And that's when Achy Breaky Heart was out. Man, my achy breaky heart. So they was doing the dancing, right? And she was dancing over there, and yeah, fake wrestling. I bet you if I hit him for real, he crumble like a potato chip. That was the guy was saying to Booker T. Bet you he crumble like a potato chip. Oh, Stevie Ray was like, yeah, potato chips, huh? We crumble like potato chip. Okay, well, let's see who crumbled first. Let's see which one of us is gonna crumble. Well, they didn't crumble, did they? Look, my phone about to explode. So it's hot and I gotta let it cool down, man. We'll talk some more wrestling another day. I gotta get up out of here.